We're going to move on to our first panel discussion, and this one gets us into the weeds of business. So I'm delighted to be able to welcome up onto the stage my panelists for this next session. We have Vassil Terziev, who is the mayor of this wonderful city. Vassil, please come and join us. We have Saša Marković, who is the general manager, Coca-Cola HBC Bulgaria. Hi. We have Demian Pintos, who's the general manager for Philip Morris Bulgaria. Demian, if you join us. Please take a seat, gentlemen. Don't feel you need to stay on your feet.
The lady's coming, so.
Oh, okay. Well, you can always stand up again if you need to. Tsvetanka Mintcheva, who is the CEO and chairperson of the management board of UniCredit at Bulbank. Stand up, gentlemen. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And last but not least, Jesus Caballero, who is the CEO of Sofia Airport. We've all enjoyed your services. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Pleasure.
Thanks a lot. Please take a seat. Mayor, I'm going to hand over to you first. You're going to give us some thoughts on prospects for this wonderful city that you're now in charge of. Please go ahead.
Sure. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. Thanks for the invitation. There are big plans in all areas for Sofia, but I'll just use the opportunity to talk a little bit more about our thoughts on technology and how technology will be used and how it will shape what gets done in the city. Obviously, AI is a very big topic all across the world, and its implications on the job market in terms of how we can use it to drive the economy, in terms of how we can use it in our decision making. And Sofia is no different in terms of that we're thinking in terms of how to use it in the area of sustainability, water management, waste management, going green, in terms of urban mobility and what can be done to optimize the transport networks, in terms of security, how we can have a safer city. But all of these things rest on some investments that we need to make in the coming years, because you know that a model is only as good as the data that sits behind it. So as a city, we have to make big investments in making it smarter. Basically, to connect all those IoT devices, to install them, to integrate the data, to explore the causality between the different things that happen in different areas, so that we can really start modeling and then automating things, so that we can accelerate the decisions that we as a city make. Because today we're still running many things in an analog way, a little bit disconnected, and first we have to get all of that working together before we can really move to a smart city and harness AI. But technology sits high on our agenda in all three pillars, in terms of what we want to do for citizens to cut the distance, so that we because you know that the more data points you have, IoT devices are one thing, citizens are another. So if you cut the connection to cut the distance to 1 point something people that can use an app on their phone to talk to the municipality, to report on issues, to consume all the services, we get into the loop of really leveraging them to improve our city. And this is a very big priority for us, on which we plan to deliver the first results by the end of the year, by rolling out a mobile app which continuously adds most of the services that you as a citizen expect. And most importantly, it allows you to interact in terms of ideas, in terms of problems, where they are, and to cluster that with the feedback of other people, so that it really starts getting its way in decision making, which is one of the challenges that we face, that we make decisions, but they're mostly based on gut. We don't have data, and we don't make decisions on data. So this is not really weaved into the way of how the municipality operates, which leads us to the second pillar in terms of the digitization and innovation efforts within the municipality. and how we plan to improve the internal processes. And the third one, which is very important, is what we plan to do for business, because it's an integral part of the economy, of the innovation cycle, removing all the administrative barriers, adding things like electronic construction permits, which will help us climb in the doing business rankings, and many other things which tie citizens with business, with the municipality in a continuous loop, and then we start adding all the other systems so that we become a real-time organization that is capable of executing really fast on new ideas and on solving the nascent challenges of our city. All of that coupled with a lot of investments in education, because if we are going to be this digital future-proof economy, we also need to make sure that there are people who really understand technology and who grow up not just to consume it and watch videos, but really to leverage it intelligently in their daily lives.
Super, thank you very much. Before I move along, I just wanted to ask you one very quick question, one very brief answer. Sofia can be a beautiful city, a fantastic place to be, as I said before, but a very low level of digital nomads here. It's as a foreigner, of course, this is the question I would ask, but you're competing in many ways with cities all over Europe to attract the talent that you're going to need if you're going to have a thriving technology sector. Why is the digital nomad population here so small? Is there any plan you have to do anything about that?
The short answer is because of what Deputy Prime Minister Gabriel mentioned. The story is not told. We have great fundamentals in terms of starting a business, in terms of the innovative ecosystem, so we stand really well. But you also have to market that to the outside world. And whereas we're not probably doing so well with digital nomads, we are doing quite well with the startup ecosystem, attracting people from Europe, them coming here, setting up their companies, getting investment, and no wonder Sofia and Bulgaria ranked #1 on the Balkans this year again.
Okay, thank you. Sasha, the Coca-Cola is in many ways an old-fashioned business. You know, you take an input, you process it.
I won't take that as an insult, but
it's certainly not intended as one. As a great fan of your product, I wouldn't dream of that. But give us your thoughts, please, on this area.
First of all, thank you for the opportunity to be here and for the invite and a chance to discuss all the opportunities and challenges that sustainability brings. It has been at the core of everything we do for many years. We see sustainability as a key driver of change. I'm sure there's not many people in this room that can say that they don't know our brands, our company, the products, but much less is known about how we are changing as a company, how we are progressing, and how innovation is at the core of everything we do. I mentioned that sustainability has been with us for many years already. One proof is that Dow Jones Sustainability Index just awarded Coca-Cola Hellenic for the 7th year in a row as the most sustainable beverage company in the world. And this is coming from the mindset that we are looking at as an opportunity, because the powerful driver comes from innovation. We are looking for solutions that at the same time are helping us in energy efficiency, helping us in reducing our carbon footprint, reducing the resources we are using, but also finds new business opportunities for us. So it's a right way to look at it. Our commitments are big. Sustainability is not just a responsibility that is driven by the governments. Our net zero commitments is that by 2040 we will have zero carbon emissions in our whole supply chain, including suppliers, logistics, factories, wholesale, retail, zero by 2040. On top of that, we are committed that by 2030 we will collect and recycle 100% of our packaging that we are putting out in 28 countries and 3 continents.
What year was that, sorry?
2030 for packaging and 2040 for net zero. These commitments are much more ambitious and much more demanding than what the governments, EU or local governments in the countries we operate in are asking for us. We are looking ourselves in a position of being the biggest soft drink producer, and we have the responsibility to be a role model going forward to make this business and industry sustainable for many more years. Connected to this, the company will invest 250 million euro by 2025 into energy efficiency, reduction of carbon emissions. And we already made progress. Since 2010, we have reduced the absolute number of carbon emissions by 30%, while our business has grown over 60. Unfortunately, the global carbon emissions has grown by 12% in that same period. So we still have a lot to do as a business, as an industry together. In Bulgaria, Coca-Cola Hellenic is committed in modernization of our factories and warehouses. We have two in Kosti and Brod in Bankia, both very close to Sofia and part of Sofia. There we invested just last year 17 million leva in improving water consumption, energy consumption, and moving towards green energy. The good thing is that in 2024 we are planning to almost double these investments. Also, we will work with our suppliers to eliminate the carbon footprint of the third party participating in our supply chain by 90%. There are places we cannot reach, but we will have other initiatives to offset the places where we cannot reduce the carbon footprint. There are many numbers that we as a business look at, and many people are working behind these numbers. And it's the way we live. You know, we look at our success and failures through numbers, but they also show us the trend and which way we are going. I'm happy to report that in Bulgaria we have already reached some of the numbers that were targets for 2025. Direct emissions are reduced by 30%, and all of the energy used in our factories since 23 is 100% green energy. So these are the things that we already are very much proud of. Many things happened in the last years. Many things will happen in the year to come. We need to stay on our toes, bring the innovation in, and we strongly believe that this will bring us more growth and that we will be a key partner to the community in making the future better.
You mentioned, interestingly, you said that 100% of the energy you use at the moment in your operations is green energy.
Yes.
A couple of very brief questions. First of all, does that include your delivery fleet? And
we are working on this. We are moving our delivery fleet. This is only the production facilities are moved already 100%. We are currently moving our fleet, both light and heavy, towards more energy efficient models, or actually more cleaner energy models, from hybrid to gas. We still have challenges of moving completely electric, and that's the piece of infrastructure we would like to see growing in, not just in Bulgaria, but the entire footprint of Coca-Cola Hellenic. But we are very committed on this.
Okay, and the green energy you do use, where do you source it? Do you auto-generate in your plants, or?
Part of it is auto-generated, but you can imagine the factory needs a lot, so part of it is coming from the public system.
Right, okay. Demian, first of all, how do I pronounce your name? Is it Demian?
You're saying it perfectly. Yes.
You got mine right too,
Demian.
Well, that's a first. Philip Morris is easier for me, but anyway, give us your thoughts, please.
Look, I think, first of all, let me start with a different thing, which is when the Deputy Prime Minister and the Mayor were talking about bringing talent back and bringing talent into the country. The reality is we are a bit older, but you already have an example with us, with Saša, with Jesus and myself, because we love being here. And we know at some point people will start coming more and more. And the reality is that we need to also think all of the Bulgarian talent that is outside of Bulgaria, because I think they're eager to come back. And this is a big opportunity. We feel it already in the company. Now, when it comes to us, innovation and sustainability, I would say have been driven our strategy for the last 10 years. It's very simple. When it comes to sustainability, we have one main global goal, which is moving people out of cigarettes. If they want to quit perfectly, that will be the main objective. But moreover, if they don't want to move out of cigarettes, is to move them into better alternatives. And this is where all our efforts and technology is taking place. Innovation is a key part of that journey. And I think in that sense, we are making big progresses globally. One example is the amount of people that we have already switched out of cigarettes globally, which is more than 15 million. Totally in the global, fully is more than 20 million, which is a very important thing. In the case of Bulgaria, we're talking already more than 300,000 people. But we still have a lot of room to go. Now, in parallel to that, we are including sustainability in every single aspect of the business. The only way to really achieve that is to change the way you think. You need to think in a different way. You need to understand, since you start the process, what can you do and what you cannot do, and what's the impact of these things that will have in the different places. Could be the environment, could be in people, could be in an industry, right? So that's also one key element for us. A good example, it's a very old problem, which I don't think we have tackled yet, in which we are mixing innovation and also, I would say, partnership at different local levels, is the problem of bottle littering. We know cigarette bottle littering is a big problem across the globe, also in Bulgaria. And we're trying to change the mindset in which we approach it and also include technology in the process. So one of the things that we're doing, and we did it here in Sofia not long ago, we partnered with an international startup called Literati, which basically is an app that allows you to geolocalize different type of litters. So it's not only cigarette butts, and through massive and constant data input, it allows you to identify hotspots around the city. Potentially, that information will help you plan better where and how to place, for example, a cigarette butt ashtray or a different bin in order to address the topic. That, I think, is one example of how, for the municipalities in this case, and I want to thank the mayor, Sofia, the industry, and the consumers can partner to potentially solve a problem that until now nobody has been able to fully solve. And this is the same approach that we are taking into every single aspect of the business. We look for innovation that can have impact. Number one priority, harm reduction. And this is, for us, is very clear. This is where most of our investment is today. But we also know we can't do this alone. We need partnerships with the government, with the stakeholders, with people, and even within the industry to make that change faster and potentially impact the life of millions of smokers around the world.
Excellent, thank you. It would be interesting, maybe not today, at some point it'd be interesting to talk about the substitution of revenue streams at a place like Philip Morris, which is so associated with a particular technology shifting to a new one. But I did want to ask you just a couple of very, very brief questions. One is, you mentioned cigarette litter. But again, here's one of these sort of classic cases of transformation and innovation creating new problems where old ones perhaps are being solved. Because vape litter is perhaps even more serious in terms of, you know, the potential noxious effects of the plastics and things that are left around. How is Philip Morris in Bulgaria and generally approaching that from a point of view of responsibility?
So I think, first of all, we don't have a vape business in Bulgaria yet. It's true, we're commercializing vapes in certain countries. I think the most important thing is how do you think about the circularity of the product. And I think this is very key. In most of the markets in which we are commercializing vaping products, it's mandatory to have a circular program in which we recycle, and we encourage consumers to recycle our products. So it's basically we give incentives to bring them back. Now that's a behavioral change. The real way of tackling some of this problem is by design. So using reusable materials, recyclable materials that can be easy to recycle is key. And this is how we are approaching it from a design point of view. Not only with that, but also, for example, with what we call heat not burn products, IQOS, which are more sustainable, lasting, than not even comparable to the vape category. So I think you need to approach it from two different sides. The behavioral side, changing the behavior of the consumers, because I agree with you, disposing a disposable vape every time you use it is not the most sustainable thing to do. You need to address those by giving the consumers the right tools to dispose and recycle these devices properly, but moreover is you tackle it from a design point of view. You make your products long-lasting, easy to recycle at the different streams of the supply chain.
Okay, and again, very briefly, you're a man of a certain age, like myself. You've been recruiting people for years, I imagine. You mentioned, your preference for bringing people back, so bringing this diaspora back, skills back to Bulgaria, which is tremendously important. How important for those people who you're trying to attract is social responsibility these days? How important is that on their agenda compared to when you and I were a lot younger and nobody cared about these things? Is it something you observe?
I would say it's significantly more important today.
Yeah.
To the new generation. I see it with the people that we're bringing. They need a mission. They need a clear vision, and they need to believe in it. It's not about salaries and opportunities that you can offer them from a career point of view. They need to believe that the vision that they're following is the right one, and this is key. And in this path in particular, I think, and especially in Bulgaria and Europe, we're being very successful. But I tell everyone, I mean, when we talk about talent, I'm very happy. I go to the office every day, and a big percentage of our office is people that are coming back to Bulgaria from Austria, UK, even the US. So it's something that can be achieved, but you need to set up the environment for that to happen.
The really good ones we want to hold on to in the UK, so I'll just back you up on that one. Tsvetanka, welcome. All of this needs to be financed, and of course banks need to demonstrate their own sustainability credentials in the modern world. So give us your reflections, please, on this area.
Thank you. So first of all, let me greet all the present in the rooms, Madam Deputy Prime Minister, Mr. Mayor. It's a real pleasure being part of this discussion today. Talking about our world ahead in a sustainable way probably is the most important discussion that we can have in this time. And I started the year, together with some of you, listening to one futurist about what is even beyond 24 and what's happening with the world in which we are living. And I have to tell you that it's a topic of which I'm impressed, and I remember a few of the thoughts he shared with us. First of all, that we are living through times that nobody of us have seen, and probably generations before us haven't seen such a change that is coming. But what he finished with is that each of the changes, especially when it's in such a big scale, starts from the people. Starts from the person. First the person change, and then the society. And that's why I want in my few minutes to start from my personal example and the trial that I had with my family this summer to build a photovoltaic on the top of my house and to make sustainable use of the energy. And I have to share, it was not an easy process. First, because we didn't understand anything about it. We had to learn a lot of things, we had to understand a lot of things, and last but not least, we need to find also the right partner to execute. So it's actually not so easy. I can share many other personal examples about this, but I will continue with my professional opinion about why the banks have important role for this sustainable future, and I will just describe the 5 reasons I think banks have a really important role. Starting from the first one, that it's not anymore about just financing. We have heard many of the big and successful companies before me that they have their own plans, they're already on the road of sustainable transformation. But for many companies, it's requiring also education, understanding about what is happening, what kind of norms and regulations are entering into place. And here comes a really important part of the bank. As all the businesses are going through transformation, imagine what does it mean for a bank, not understanding just its own sector and how much it's transformed out of all this, but understanding all of the sectors of the customers. So I'm really impressed by my colleagues that I able to catch up with so many industries in parallel. First thing that we are investing as banks, of course, is in educating inside our people in order then to be able to support the customers. We have launched last year a series of meetings with our customers discussing what is coming, why it's coming, and how they can be better prepared. And this is something which we were going to continue to do as we recognize as our role. Of course, we also part of the net zero commitments, and we are committed that by 2050 UniCredit will have a zero carbon footprint for its portfolio. And we have already started our analysis and also our plans for some of the sectors. Other proof on this part from our side is that we are really supporting big part of investments in the renewable energy project, not only, but just last year, UniCredit Bulbank for Bulgaria financed more than 550 megawatts of renewable energy sources with more than 270 million euro. Second reason why the banks have a key role is related to the fact that banks know how to manage risks. And another banker, which I want to quote here, which is part of the executive committee of ECB, is saying that if the banks don't comply with the plan of EU for the sustainable transition, this will bring substantial financial, legal and reputational risk for the banks. That's why it's extremely important that we understand, identify and manage this risk. So this is what the banks are really pushed to do and have to do it, as this is part of our business. Third reason why we are important stakeholder in this discussion is that on the top of managing risk, bank understand also managing data. And when we talk about business, and this is what we believe in banks, you cannot improve something until we are able to measure it. Banks are pushed to collect data, but it's important, it's not only around banking, around all the stakeholders, there is agreed methodology, there is an opportunity to verify data, to check, to compare, also to prevent some of the greenwashing cases. Fourth place, the banks are one of the main also employer in the country, and that's why it's important also our personal transition towards the sustainable future. And here I believe the sector in Bulgaria is doing great steps ahead, not just in the environmental area by reducing our footprints, investing on photovoltaics on our roofs, or decreasing paper through our digitalization. We are a lot focused on the social part, supporting vulnerable groups of society. For example, UniCredit's key priority is to support education. And we heard all of us that this is part of the priorities for the country. And let's not forget also the governance part. So we are committed as an organization to support diversity, equal career opportunities, not only on gender base. I am also proud to have a very diverse board in the bank in Bulgaria. 5 different nationalities work here, and I believe this is a good example for everybody. Last but not least, with our products, we are influencing the society. Just an example in that area is the fact that last year, by launching green leasing, we pushed many people to go with a special, of course, preference for them, many people to choose this option for their car, and we see really sales growing very well. So just to finish here my 5 cents, I really believe banks are an important player. It's not always easy for us. Sometimes we're going to ask you as our customers for a lot of data or a lot of certificates, but only together as stakeholders, government, business, banking system, society, we can go through this enormous change that is happening in our lives.
Thank you. You got applause. I'm not going to ask any questions. I don't want to spoil the moment. That was nice. Jesus, Sofia Airport, your thoughts here on this area. I mean, you are a vehicle for a notoriously polluting industry. Not to put you on the spot, but explain yourself.
So first of all, let me greet all our guests, especially our Vice Prime Minister and dear Minister of Sofia, the Mayor of Sofia, and also our distinguished panelists. So quickly go, before entering what we are doing in the field of the environmental, social, government, digitalization and innovation, who we are, who is running now the concession of the airport. So Sofconet is the company who is running the concession since 2021. It's Meridian is the fund, is 100% owner, the owner of Sofconet. And we have Munich Airport is our airport operator, but it is important here to mention that we have our lenders, our banks are like UniCredit, who is financing this project. And this is very important because we have 7 banks, 4 of them development bank, like EBRD, EIB. We have also the Black Sea and World Bank, that they are financing this project with the focus in accelerating the decarbonization of the airport and bring benefit to Bulgaria. This is the main focus of what these development banks are bringing. So what we are doing to decarbonize the airports. Our objective is to decarbonize the airport by 2036. So we have an ambitious plan. We are going to invest almost 70 million euros in a battery of actions to achieve it, like investing in solar panel. That is, we will invest 20 megawatt in the solar panel plus 20 megawatt battery storage system, because the airport is 24 hours, so we need also the energy during the night hours. This will allow us to decarbonize the full energy. Plus, what we are doing is also completely eliminate the emission coming from our own activity, like the cars, the vehicles that we are using, replacing them directly to the electrical cars. This last year, we replaced almost all of them, and the ones that already we couldn't because of operational reason, what we are doing is offsetting with OMV, buying carbon neutral fuel. Also, what are we doing in terms of digitalization? Well, also to mention that Sofia will be this year in the top 10 airport in Europe as achieving the decarbonization earlier. I mean, there are only 10, 15 airports with the carbon level 4, meaning that we are committed to become carbon neutral before 2040. So this will be also an important message to Europe that Sofia is committed to that. Digitalization is key. We are already last year eliminated our papers. We are investing in a lot of millions in NEOS system, airport management system, and more. And continue with our environmental. We already have partners like Veolia to start installing water fountain. But also, if you can see also last year, we have electrical shuttle bus between the 2 terminals, for example, as example that we are doing. Moving to the social part and what we mentioned here, we are also part of our mission is to bring back the talent to the country, and we already started last year to bring people, very good engineer in the finance also field, HR from UK, US, for Germany, that they are joining our project because this is the way to contribute to the country. It's a unique opportunity to bring value to the country, and we are engaging them in our mission. We have also, we started to sign partnership with the Technical University of Sofia to develop the new generation of professionals that we will need to accomplish our mission in terms of innovation, digitalization, and it's important that the university is taking what the industry needs, and also we benefit from the university, so this is key. And also part of our mission is to engage the community, and important stakeholders is our employees and the families. So we started to create and organize a lot of events to make the community and to make the community closer to the airport. And also a job fair, for example, because there is a lot of profession, a job that can be done in the airport, not only in the airport organization, but also if you want to become a pilot, if you want to work in the ground handling, or in retail, or in finance. So we are creating, organizing fair for the professional, young professional university to come and understand how they can contribute. And in the governance perspective, we have also an ESG director and a full division to go through all these actions. And we have a plan, we have timeline, we have investment to develop in environmental and social. So you need the proper governance. So we are bringing the best practices in Europe to deploy this to the country. And now I will move quickly to the artificial intelligence and digitalization. We are already implementing artificial intelligence at the airport. We started last year with installing artificial intelligence in our X-ray machine to help our security officer to do it easier and better their job. And the artificial intelligence is learning, and we have very good results, 95% good result of this learning process of the machines. We are also implementing chatbots using artificial intelligence to quickly respond to our passengers in real time, what they need about the airport. We are also starting to work with a company, a Bulgarian company, very good in drones, because drones have a lot of application in the airport for maintenance, video surveillance, security, safety, and a lot of things will be done by drones in the next coming years. We already started working with them, and we also already we started using artificial intelligence in our CCTV system to understand the passenger flow, the passenger behavior, to help the passenger and to reduce the queuing in check-in, queuing in security, and so on. So this is in 5-6 minutes, what we are trying to do and what we are doing at the airport in all these 5 pillars, environmental, social, governance, digitalization, and innovation.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And thank you for bringing us to the theme of digitalization, because I did want to make sure that we focused mainly on sustainability at the moment, but digitalization is a major theme, not just for us tonight, but globally and in general. Saša, let me come to you on this question of AI and how we go about incorporating it into our business workflows. Has Coca-Cola done much of that?
We do. Automatization has been a topic for many years, and AI is just the next level. We are now exploring and finding ways how we can use it to be more efficient and again, look for opportunities for more business. At this stage, we are using the ChatGPT in our communication, in our outlooks and communication tools. But more importantly, the automatization that we are doing in factories using VR, using algorithms, not necessarily AI, but algorithms to make processes simpler. I'll give you one example. I remember back in the day when I started on the field, visiting stores as a business developer, pen and paper were everything. And then you go back to the office, translate this into some Excel table, and it becomes a data point, and it needs to be analyzed to become knowledge. And it was all very, very difficult. Today, later on, we had iPads and different kind of tools. Today, our BDs go on the field, take a photo of a part of the shelf. That photo gets into a program which recognizes the products on the shelf, then compares these data points with what this store should have and how the store of that size in that neighborhood of that particular channel should look like, and the BD gets immediate score on these stores. Also, he gets suggested order and suggested activities inside store from that very quick interaction. Now, you would assume that means more efficiency, less people. Actually, that's not the case. Now it's more profitable even to go to smaller stores because their time is used in an efficient way. And we're actually increasing our sales force after the implementation of AI and these kind of solutions. So not necessarily it means changes in
That's
labor.
really interesting, because I think one of the people see this as a sort of binary thing between AI either improves your productivity or it gets rid of all of your people. And clearly that's generally not the case, and that never has really been the case with innovation, has it? And innovation isn't necessarily digital and artificial intelligence. Demian, how's Philip Morris using innovation to help with its corporate workflow?
Look, I think we went from being a company with very limited or no innovation to basically innovation be the core together with the sustainability and more important what I call scientifically proved innovation. I mean, it's important that whatever we do, we invest a lot of resources in order to make sure that we can prove the impact that product or technology
talked
has.
about the importance of data and
Yes.
data-driven innovation. Yeah.
Now, I think there's a lot of things of innovation that we can talk about. But since you brought, I mean, we were talking and bringing the topic about AI. I think one of the things that I remember, I was listening to a podcast this morning, and they were talking about AI is an overnight success. 40 years in the making, right? So it has been there for a long time. Now we're starting to see the real thing, and there's a lot of confusion. What is AI? What is not AI? At what point an algorithm is AI or is not AI? And I think in our case, we are still in a very early stage. We are a highly regulated industry. And for us, it's
but you're probably watching it very carefully.
Going to an unregulated area at this stage.
Yeah.
I think the most important thing is that we understand it, we embrace it, we learn, and we use it where it adds value. This is the most important thing.
Okay. I want to finish, we're nearly out of time, but I want to come to Vassil for the final question. So I'm going to, because we've only got 2 minutes, I'm going to give you a really easy question. Air quality in Sofia is not great. And by European standards, Sofia doesn't perform well. Some of the problems, there's nothing you can do about it. You've got a big mountain, you're in a bit of a dip, that doesn't help. But public transport, there's a lot of cars on the road, a lot of vehicles. What's the city planning to do to improve the air quality?
Limit the number of cars. We're Europe's most motorized capital. 700 cars per 1,000 inhabitants. So we really need to take people off the cars, but in a good way, which means improving public transport. So we have a lot of plans in that respect. Build a transport model, connect the final mile, which brings you to the central points of the metro, etc. Improve the connectivity between the different types of transport so that you can cut the time it takes you to move from one distance to another. So it's a lot of modeling plus an investment in a revamp of the fleet so that we can improve the times between destinations, and that we incentivize people to step down from the cars. But it only goes by virtue of improving the public transport and moving to non-fossil fuel energy for the households, which is another big thing in which we are investing, plus all the sustainability that the municipality and other stakeholders are also doing underway. Great.
Speaking from my point of view, I look forward to seeing Sofia embrace the potential that this city has. It's such a fabulous city, such a beautiful setting, some fantastic buildings and architecture and culture. So I hope it all comes together over the coming years. We are, of course, as always, out of time before we wanted to be. I would take up more time, but the next is an hour's cocktail break, and I daren't nibble into any of that time. So please enjoy your cocktail break. Try and come back relatively sober. And before you go, please join me in thanking a fabulous panel. Thank you very much. Thank you.